on Thursday, and at their press conference, one subject was certain to come up.
I don't want to play into the hands of some Russian narrative about divisions between allies.
We will not allow anyone to drive a wedge between us. We're talking a hybrid war here.
Journalists were asking about a recording of a conversation between German military officials that Russian sources had leaked days before. In the leak, we hear a discussion of the war in Ukraine, in particular about the implications if Germany were to send its long-range Taurus missiles to Ukraine, something Chancellor Olaf Scholz has ruled out. And one word has been used a lot to describe the leak.
Well, I think it is absolutely embarrassing that military top officials wouldn't follow the procedures in order to conduct such calls.
And it's not just embarrassing, it raises questions about the West's strategy in Ukraine and about the reach of Russian intelligence. And this leaked conversation involved 4 senior figures in Germany's Air Force. One of them was attending Singapore's air show. He dialed into the meeting from a hotel there. This proved to be a miscalculation. Germany's defence minister has highlighted how eavesdropping of hotels is widespread, and Germany's ambassador to the UK has offered this advice.
I think that's a good lesson for everybody. Never use hotel internet if you want to do a secure call.
Germany's Air Force may be learning that lesson the hard way. And the reason they were discussing these Taurus missiles is that while Germany has so far declined to send them, Ukraine has repeatedly made the request.
We need long-range weapons because Russians stand at a distance that allows them to strike our people while we cannot reply appropriately.
It's true that Russia's missiles can go further. At the moment, Ukraine has British and French missiles, both with a range of around 150 miles. Germany's Taurus missile has a range of around 300 miles. It would give Ukraine many more options. But Olaf Scholz fears this will escalate the war and that Ukraine will need German personnel to help operate the missiles. This leaked conversation discusses all of this and makes reference to the UK already having forces in Ukraine. This we already knew because in February, Downing Street confirmed a small number of personnel are in Ukraine, though it didn't say what they're doing. And while reaction to the leak has continued, the Kremlin has shared its thoughts on it.
This suggests that within Germany's armed forces, plans for striking the territory of the Russian Federation are being discussed substantively and specifically.
There's nothing in the leak that suggests this. Germany has called Russia's claim absurd and offered this assessment.
This is a Russian hybrid attack again. It's clearly the intention to destabilize the West. And it was not a coincidence that this recording was published the day of Navalny's funeral.
If that is the intention, none of Germany's allies have been critical, not in public at least. But the UK's former Defence Secretary Ben Wallace has concerns. He was in government during the majority of this war, and he's told The Times, "We know Germany is pretty penetrated by Russian intelligence, so it just demonstrates they are neither secure nor reliable." The German ambassador to the UK called those comments unhelpful. And while Ukraine's allies seek to offer a united front, they know the decisions about how to support Ukraine are crucial, not least because right now, for Ukraine, at best the war is stuck, at worst, Russia is getting the upper hand. Last month, Ukraine withdrew from the key town of Avdiivka. It says it needs ammunition and weapons. Now, since the war began, Germany has provided more military aid than any other country bar the US. And throughout the conflict, like Ukraine's other allies, Germany has had to decide what kind of military hardware it will provide. Russia will want to influence these kind of decisions. The leaked German conversation may be part of an effort to do that.
The manner in which it's been exploited by the Russians is an indication of Russia's attempts to divide Western support for Ukraine and to intimidate the West, to play on the West's fears of escalation. This leak is another example of that tactic in practice.
What the leak certainly confirms is that the West continues to grapple with the best route forward in this war.